I'm right there! Right there! Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Nintendo Switch Sports is out now, and I'm having a blast. Not only is it giving me the nostalgic vibes of 2006 and bowling at Grandma's house for Christmas, but also it's been a blast to play in modern times with better motion controls, a handful of new sports to play, and online functionality that lets me play with friends, family, and strangers all over the world. And I will say, overall, I highly recommend this game, and I don't think there's a bad sport in the mix here. However, I happen to like some of the games here more than others, and of course, there's got to be a game at the top and a game at the bottom. So, in this video, I'm going to rank the Nintendo Switch Sports from worst to best. Let me know what your ranking is in the comments in this video, and also make sure to like and subscribe. And here is my list for the Nintendo Switch Sports ranked from worst to best. Okay. No! In at number 6 is Volleyball. Now, Volleyball isn't a bad game. I will admit, I have a lot of fun playing volleyball each time I boot it up. However, of the sports that are here, I do think it is the least interesting one. There is a lot of downtime between your actions, as you're only kind of playing less than half of the time, because you're waiting to either, dig the ball or set the ball in the air. And on top of that, your actual actions don't really translate to much, because almost everything you do is timing based. So it's really just about moving your hand up or moving your hand down at the right time to dig the ball, set the ball, spike it, or block. That being said, I do like the fact the game gives you the ability to control your character on the screen, so you can position yourself in the right spot to get that block, or position yourself in the back to dig out the ball when the opponent drives down a really hard spike. So I give the game credit for that. However, it's just not the most exciting in the bunch. If any, it's the least it's the worst game here. It's fine, it's just not my favorite. That's it. Swinging in at number 5 is tennis. Now, this isn't necessarily a fault of tennis in and of itself. It's essentially the same as Wii Tennis, which was very solid in its own right back in 2006. I do appreciate that you can time your swings in such a way to hit it on different ends of the court, and you can also twist the Joy-Cons in different directions to add topspin or backspin to the ball to make it spin in weird ways. However, it's pretty much the exact same tennis from 2006, except you can't play 1v1 anymore, which makes sense in light of the fact that badminton is in the mix. However, it's really hard to get excited about tennis when it's essentially the same game we've been playing for over a decade, and it never had the same level of magic of certain other Wii sports games that have made their way to Nintendo Switch Sports. So it's at number 5. It's probably better than a number 5, but for me, just because I'm not really excited by it, it just misses the cut for the bottom of the list. There it is, the 1, 2, 3. Number 4, CHAMBARA. This one caught me by surprise. I was expecting a bit more, Wii boxing, where it was just kind of a waggle fest, and CHAMBARA is very much not that. I think that Nintendo did a really good thing by designing it in such a way where you're fighting with sticks rather than fists, so that the game is reading more deliberate swipes rather than arms flailing about, and it makes for a game that is a lot more thoughtful, and the players have to be more deliberate in their actions, and between having to block at specific angles and charge swings and the spin attacks and stuff like that, it's got the foundations of a fighting game in there. It's still pretty simple. No one's gonna mix it up for Street Fighter or anything like that, and I do find that after a couple of seconds you have to reset the center point of the controller so that they read a little better. But it's got the foundations of a decent fighting game, and it's pretty fun to play. Ah! Get out of here! No! No! At number 3, it's soccer. It's weird because Rocket League is basically soccer with cars, but Nintendo Switch Sports Soccer is Rocket League with humans. And once you play it, it totally makes sense. It is an arcade style soccer experience with very specific ball physics, and the game gives you a weird amount of control. You can move your character with the analog stick. You are kicking with your arm, with the right hand, or whatever your kicking arm is. I know it's a weird thing. They're going to add proper kicking into the game later this year, which is great. But even when you're swinging your arm, it gives you a lot of control in terms of being able to kick the ball upwards, keep the ball on the ground. You can kick at sort of 90-degree angles, which is great for when you need to clear the ball out of your zone. And you can even jump in the air and kick twice, or even dive towards the ball and do like a massive header, which may or may not go in the net. And I think that for the fact that it's got a really high skill ceiling, it's a lot of fun, and I think there is a lot of growth that players can have to really master the game and get invested in. And I always have a fun time playing it. However, I think that the field is a little too big. There are times where you're just kind of running around a little too long without actually doing anything. It does help. I do find that I like to hang back just a little bit and wait for the ball to come to me. But if you are just kind of running towards the ball all the time, it's very easy to just run forever without actually touching the ball. I think that making the field a little smaller would help in that regard. But otherwise, soccer is pretty great. And, you know, the kicking mini game there, it's maybe not as precise in its controls as I would hope for it to be, but it's still a lot of fun to kick a virtual ball around. There! Oh! Smashing its way into the runner-up spot is badminton. This is a really exciting addition to Nintendo Switch Sports because it is a lot faster than regular tennis where you're waiting for the ball to fly around. No, players are just constantly swinging, hitting the birdie back and forth, and there's definitely an exciting level of strategy there. Not only are you trying to hit the birdie left and right, you're also trying to mess with depth as well. You might want to hit the birdie super far away to the opposite side, or you might want to hold the trigger down to do a drop shot and then force your opponent to run out of position, dive for the birdie, at which point you'll then just smash it down for the easy points. And because of its fast pace and the excitement that comes with playing with your opponent's positioning and trying to get them off balance so you can get that big smash in, it is incredibly fun to play, although it is incredibly exhausting as well. So keep that in mind the next time you boot up badminton. Oh, that look, yes! And in at number 1, is there any surprise? It's bowling. It was always gonna be bowling, and even though they kind of made the controls a little worse because you don't let go of the trigger anymore to let go of the ball, probably to prevent players from yeeting their controllers at the screen, though that hasn't stopped some people from throwing their controllers at the screen, it is still an amazing experience because it very much captures the essence of bowling and the amount of control you have in throwing the ball towards the pins. And on top of all that, the online play has a survival mode where 16 bowlers all get together and they bowl until there's only one player left. I think it's a really smart way of having a large number of players compete with one another, and if you're not doing so well, you're going to get cut very early in the game, so it's easy for you to jump into a new one. But if you're able to go all the way, man, winning a bowling battle royale is one of the greatest sensations I've ever felt in video games, and I hope that you're able to get your bowling crown someday. Though I will say, y'all are amazing at bowling, and at getting that achievement is incredibly difficult to do. But if you've gotten it, congratulations! And that is my list. How would you rank the Nintendo Switch Sports? Let me know in the comments. Tell me how right I am. You're probably going to tell me how wrong I am, and that's okay too. But nevertheless, make sure to let me know in the comments what you thought of the rankings. And before I go, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. You can also find me on Twitch over at twitch.tv/in-third-person. Where's the button? There we go. I made all these bumpers so I could do stuff like this. Of course, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram as well. And of course, check out my website, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until next time, my name is Jet. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Later!